Hello and welcome back to the Sanctuary of Healing. This is Tony Clarkson and I'm here with my very good friend and colleague Michael G. Reccia. And today, as in the past, Michael is going to contact the soul group, who I gather are already in the background now. And none of us have any idea of what's going to happen. And none of us have any idea of what's going to be said. But I now hand over to you, Michael.
Thank you, Tony. Yeah.
Leave it to you.
Just to introduce what's going to happen, I can see a triumvirate, if that's the right word, of guides here, guiding influences. Also got my father here. Now, my father's not going to participate in this, but he's here to give me moral support, as it were. So it's nice to see you, Dad. There are three people here. We've got the Persian gentleman that is very often vocal in these sessions. And he today is dressed in the same colour shirt that I've got on. There's Jane's Chinese guide, who very often comes in green. And there is a gentleman who was a native Canadian. Now, he helped me as I was developing as a medium. He was involved in my development as a medium. He's dressed in a traditional costume of, I suppose it's buckskin. But there's also, and always with this man, there was a crystal at his chest, which is a sort of red-orange colour. And I remember him many years ago telling me that I wasn't ready. I was eager to work as a medium, and he said, "You're not ready," which was a great disappointment to me, but he was right at that time. And I should also tell you that his signature way of appearing is that a waterfall appears. And he comes down this waterfall in a canoe towards me, and then he gets out. Now, these are all mind visuals that he brings through, but that's how he appears as he comes through. I also want to say that they listen in, the soul group members listen in to what we've been saying during the week and what we've been discussing.
Oh dear.
And Tony and myself this week have been discussing a definition for angelic intention.
Yeah.
But also as part of that definition, we've been looking at and discussing the universe as a mechanism, as it having a deeper meaning. And I know that's what they want to talk about today. So I will now tune in and see what I can bring through.
Excellent.
So I'm talking to the native Canadian gentleman, but the three of them have joined together to create enough power to get across what they want to say to us. And I can also hear, it's very strange, I can hear the Persian gentleman at the same time. So I have two voices with one common theme. And they're showing me the universe. There's this beautiful vista of a galaxy and swirling clouds of space matter, I suppose you would say. There's colour in this, and I can see the stars and I can see the blackness of space. And they're saying that many souls on Earth, if they look through a telescope or if they look at images from NASA or something of this nature, see what's in front of them. They see points of light, they see planets, they see a galaxy, and that is, they might be awed by the beauty of what they're seeing, but that's what they see. They take it at face value. The universe, the physical universe, the spiritual universe is far more than that. There is a purpose behind it and within it. And so each object within the physical universe, be it a star or an asteroid or a planet or a cloud of dust, has within it a certain frequency, a certain energy. And those energies have been placed there in order to bring about certain opportunities, in order to examine and present certain potentials to the spiritual beings, you and I, who are traveling through this physical universe in order to gain experience. And so the interaction of heavenly bodies creates opportunity and specific opportunities, in that the interaction of heavenly bodies surrounds certain pockets of spiritual beings, whether they're on this planet or on other planets, with energies that, if entered into an interaction with, result in certain evolutionary steps being taken by those spiritual beings that are examining those opportunities. That all sounds very complicated, but we want to say, first of all, that the universe has a purpose. Don't ever look out to space and say, well, there are planets, there are stars, there is the blackness of space and nothing else. You are only seeing a visual representation of a great mechanism. And I know that Michael, during the week, has been comparing this mechanism to the workings of a watch. And I'm now showing him cogs that are linked together. And there is as you have with a wound watch, you have the cogs interacting with each other and moving the hands around the face of the watch. And each cog is dependent on every other cog within the mechanism of the watch. You can, if you like, compare the physical universe to the workings of a great watch, or a mechanism that has within it cogs. You are at a stage in your development where you are moving away from cogs and moving into light beams and technology that doesn't use moving parts, but you still have certain objects that have moving parts in them. And I want to allude to the physical universe as being a huge mechanism with moving parts. If you consider that the planets orbit suns, that the galaxies turn, that the comets traverse great distances, there are moving parts in the universe. And each of those objects has a signature energy, a signature frequency and vibration that extends beyond its physical parameters. As those objects approach each other, they connect. The energies within them, the frequencies, connect and interlace to produce different frequencies for a time. And that's an important phrase, for a time, because opportunities are created within a certain time frame as you understand time. So those two objects, say you had a comet and you had a planet. The comet coming close to the planet on one occasion would present a certain frequency of energies because of their interconnection that would allow the spirits, the spiritual beings within the scope of that planet and that comet, would allow them to investigate specific opportunities within the time frame, for want of a better word, that you can understand within a linear existence, within the time frame of those two bodies interacting. Now, as the bodies moved away from each other, that opportunity would wane. But when they came back again, be it in a year or 1,000 years, those connections would create different opportunities, would create a different intermingling of vibrations. Perhaps on the former occasion, the planet's vibration was dominant. On this second occasion, the comet's vibration is dominant. And so you get a different mix of energies. And as a result of those different frequencies, you get a different opportunity presented to those souls within the range of those two bodies that can be influenced by those two bodies. Why? Why does this happen? Because the purpose of life, and by life I do not mean the limiting birth to death transition that you consider to be life, and that is all that life is. I do not mean that limiting small transition, but I mean the eternal, the infinite evolution of the soul. The purpose of those lives, of your life, of everyone's life, is to evolve, is to become more, is to travel through opportunities for growth, so that certain challenges and certain scenarios are set up around you that you interact with, and as a result of interacting with them, you learn and you become more and you progress. That is the meaning of the physicality you see around you. It is an opportunity, a divine given opportunity for each of you to learn and to evolve. And you evolve by interacting with the energies around you that set up situations that seem so real to you when you're passing through them, but are in effect film sets, are in effect temporary arrangements of matter and frequency that are presented to you, so that by passing through them unharmed, because you are an eternal, immortal being, by passing through them unharmed, no matter how much you feel they affect you on a physical level, from your limited point of view of the five senses, by passing through them, you become more. You add to your arsenal of experiences. And that arsenal of experiences is shared. You share, as the angelic being that you really are, you share those experiences with those around you, with the angelic beings around you, with the physical and spiritual universes around you, and ultimately with the divinity that is within you. So you are, if you like, a probe, a sensor probe sent out into physical matter. You are an individual, yes, but you are also a probe on behalf of the divine that brings back its experiences to the whole, to all the probes around it, to all the companions that you find on earth and all the companions that you have in the angelic realm, and to the divinity that you are. Divinity seeks to become more. And at heart, at spiritual heart, because you are part of divinity, you seek to become more. Which brings us to your present condition on earth. But before I look at that, I have to tell you that just as I gave the illustration of the two planetary bodies affecting each other and creating a mixture of vibrations as a result, and therefore influencing a certain number of spiritual beings, of people incarnated in physical matter, so you, because you have an aura, because you have an energy field, interact in the same way with all objects and all people around you. There is a charge that exists between any two objects or any two people. And so when you approach a person physically, there is for a time, and you decide how much time that is, an intermingling of your energy body and their energy body. And as a result of that intermingling, a charge is set up in both souls. Now, that charge can be positive or negative. That charge can be fearful or welcoming. That charge can be productive or counterproductive. And always, it is the dominant person of the two people interacting whose charge infuses both people. Now, I don't mean dominant as in controlling. I mean dominant as in how much light is in the aura of one of the people, and what the intentions towards the universe and to all life is within the most dominant, light-wise, of those two people. So, which brings us now to the state of the earth at the moment. If you are fearful, if you are cautious, if you are willing to accept that only negative things are going to happen to you because you have been told this, if you believe that someone else has power over you, then you become the less dominant of the two souls in any vibrational conversation and interaction. If, however, you have centered yourself in an acknowledgement of divinity and an acknowledgement of light being transformative, spiritual light being transformative in a positive way, in an acknowledgement that your dominant thoughts create around you and within your aura whatever those dominant thoughts are, more of whatever those dominant thoughts are, then you are powerful. Then you are the one in any connection with another person who will donate the strongest energy in the relationship, the temporary relationship. In other words, if you are centered in God, if you are centered in light, if you are centered in goodwill to all life, if you wish your life to be a beacon of light, then those traits within you become your dominant traits, the dominant traits in your aura. And in any vibrational handshake that takes place with an object or with a person or with a situation, you are donating the strongest energy. It might not look like it. You might have an interaction with someone and think, well, I couldn't influence that person at all. Or I couldn't move their negative viewpoint. Or I couldn't make them see. Or I couldn't introduce any spiritual aspect into their life whatsoever. But that is wrong. You have dented their negativity. You have lightened their load. You have lightened their vibration, maybe only infinitesimally because they are so steeped in their negative beliefs, a need to control and acquiesce and gather power and gather riches and gather security around them. But you have, in living your life in the name of light, you have the upper hand. And at this delicate time in the Earth's evolution, not the Earth as a planet, but the Earth as a society, a collection of societies, you have people with light minds, with the light approach to living, with the light approach to other people, with the light approach to all life, are the ones who ultimately will make a difference, are the ones who are making a difference at the moment, but you cannot see it because of the amount of negativity that has enveloped the earth at this time. You are a universe. Each of you watching this is a universe. Each of you has a universe within you. Each of you is creating a universe within you. And each of you is a heavenly body doing the same job in microcosm as the universe is doing around you. In that you are donating energies and receiving energies, interacting with all the objects around you, all the people around you, all the situations around you. Most people do this subconsciously. The difference, and what will give you the upper hand and the strength, is that you can do it consciously. Each day you can say, I am part of the divine. What can harm me? Each day you can say, there is no greater power than the light vibration that I have within my heart. No greater power. Nothing can hold against it. Everything is temporary except the light. Therefore, I have great power to change things. Each day you can visualize yourself as a light, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, a light that is reaching out to all those souls who do not yet acknowledge the light. And your aura expands with the amount of light that you bring into it. Your influence expands with the amount of light you bring into your aura. Your ability to transform things increases with the amount of light you bring into your life daily. So we have gone from the universe to an individual and to your heart. But the same mechanism that exists throughout the physical universe exists within you, within your heart. You are tied into it because you are it, you are part of it. And you are able to influence those around you to a huge extent, dependent on your acknowledgement of what you are, acknowledgement of the divinity within you, acknowledgement of the light that you can send out. We see the phrase, these are trying times, often at the moment, and they are trying times for us, because we send, as we can, vibrations to you, to the earth, to all humanity. But those vibrations are of a higher frequency than those of spiritual beings who are incarnated into physical flesh. And because they're of a higher frequency, although they influence lower frequencies, we cannot make as great a mark on the consciousness of humanity than you can. You can, because you are still in physical flesh. You are in a form that others see, others hear, others touch. You are something that they can relate to. Whereas our vibration, although it touches the hearts of many souls, those hearts are still encased in darkness. They're still encased in heavier thoughts, in heavier agendas. Be the light in all that you do, so that you become an example. And in becoming an example, you will disquiet people. You will distress people. You will make them scratch their heads. And in scratching their heads, they will let in some of your higher vibration, and they will have to change, because they will have to acknowledge the voice within that says you are more than what you are attempting to do at the moment. And the voice that always that is saying at the moment to them, encased in matter, stop this. Stop this. Remember who you are. Spread light, not darkness. Spread love, not coercion, not manipulation. Remember who you are. Right, okay. And the Persian gentleman is saying, every time you look at the watch on your wrist, remember what has been said about the universal mechanism. It will be a reminder for you, and it will help to permeate your consciousness with an acknowledgement of there being far greater things around you and in front of you than what is presented to you by society at the moment. Every time you look at your watch, say, yes, it is such a time, but oh yes, I am part of a great mechanism, and I can play my part in that great mechanism to influence every soul on earth, and to influence every person that I meet. And to, and the Persian gentleman is saying that you also influence the environment that you are in. For example, if you are if you acknowledge the light within you, if you live your life from the perspective of the divine within, then every step you take into the countryside actually donates energies and interacts with the countryside. If you are kind to other forms of life, then if you pass sheep in a field or a dog in the road, you are donating to those forms of life a reminder of light and an upliftment of light. That interacts with their lives too. And as a result of that, you become more integrated with the oneness of life here. You begin to acknowledge that you are not separate from the countryside. You are not separate from the animals that you come across. You are not separate from the people that you meet. And there is a joyous interaction with all forms of creation here, which brings you peace and brings you health and pulls you in line. Pull is the wrong word. Connects you with greater purpose, with the purpose of the planet, with the purpose of the devas who create the backdrop against which you have your experience of physical life, with the purpose of devic life, with the core purpose of life on earth, which is not to be in your present predicament, which is not to be bowed, which is not to suffer, but is to travel through this physical theatre in full knowledge of you being a spirit, in full knowledge of you temporarily undergoing experiences so that you can grow, in full knowledge of you never being able to die or suffer, in full knowledge of there being a vibration of love and light that permeates everything and is just hidden in many objects at the moment, waiting to be rediscovered. And that appears to be the end of their address today.
Okay, thank you, Michael. I'll just let you come round quietly there. And it's interesting how the address started on the theme of intention. And that is exactly something that Michael and I have been debating at length, how to explain intention to people and how having group intention that's in alignment with angelic and with the soul group intention is so much more powerful. And one of the things Michael does on a monthly basis is sit quietly with Jane and brings through an address, an intention for that period. And that period of time, which can be a month, takes in all those things that have been said here today. It is the universe, the solar flares, all the things, the stars moving, all that was described earlier, all of them acting in a particular way that has a particular resonance for us passing through it. And so we've got the answers here today, and I'm so pleased. It saves Michael and I having to sit down and labour in his language and in my language on how we can put this over. So I do hope you have enjoyed what Michael has brought through here today, the address of the soul group. And I know Michael is going to be, Lancashire expression, knackered for the next 3 days. But we will be going on, and shortly we'll be announcing the start of our meditation group in America, which is going to happen very soon. And that meditation group is all around intention, all around intention. So today's been amazing. Thank you all so much for watching, and we look forward to doing this again in a month. Thank you all so much. God bless.
God bless.